All right, everybody. Today, our demo is how to make an edited image that looks like monsters are attacking a city. We're going to be using an app called Pixlr. I can verify that it works on your Chromebook. I'll be using my Mac, but I can verify that it does work. This project is inspired by the fact that I love monster movies like King Kong here from 1933, and also the other king of the monsters, Godzilla from 1954. And when you learn about how these things are made, it's pretty fun because in reality, King Kong was actually a 12-inch puppet, stop motion animation. And on the other side, Godzilla was, as they say in the movie business, a man in a suit. So let's move on with the project. We're going to use Advanced E version of Pixlr. So it says Pixlr E. When you go to this menu, you're going to choose Open Image or Load URL. We're going to do some of both, but I can guarantee you can open a picture right from your Google Drive by going to Open Image, and there you'll see a picture that I shared with you called Smokestack View. It's the one that I want you to use for this project, and this menu tells us that the photo is too big for Pixlr because it's a web app, so they want us to shrink the photo down, and that's fine. It's still going to look really nice in the final project. So now let's take a look at the Pixlr interface here, and it has a toolbar, an options bar, and a layer menu just like Photoshop. And here are some tools. They're a little bit different, but also pretty much the same as we're used to in Photoshop. I just tried all this for the first time the other day too, so I'm learning along with you. Now we're going to Google some images to work with. I'm going to do Godzilla and King Kong, as I said. You can choose two monsters of your own if you wish. We're going to Images in Google, and then Tools, and choose Size Medium. We don't want the pictures to be large because the app won't be able to handle them. Select the photo that you want. The white background photos work great for this. Then right-click and choose Copy Image Address. Or, like I said, you could download these directly to your Google Drive before you start the project. Now we're going to choose Load URL, paste in the web address, and now it says, this is very important, create new or add to current. We're going to add to current because our project, the photo of the school, is active. So that's what we need to do. Always choose add to current when you're building a project and putting photos together. So now we have very much like we know from Photoshop. We are increasing the size, and the toggles are right there to stretch it. We're going to choose the magic wand tool to click on the white background, and then choose Edit Clear to remove the white background. And there we go. Now we're going to do deselect from the select menu. I'm going to choose the move tool, the arrow to move Godzilla around, and we're going to transform him because I want to do free distort here, and I want to stretch him so he looks like his tail is going down the side of the building and just make him fit on this page a little nicer. When you're done with your transformation, you click Apply in the top right corner of the screen, and now we're going to go find our King Kong picture. And remember, our King Kong photo is inspired by this scene from the 1933 movie where he's being attacked by the biplanes. And so we went to Google. We right-click on the photo, choose Copy Image Address. Then we click the Home button in Pixlr to go here. Then choose Load URL. Remember, add to current. And there's King Kong. Now, just like Photoshop, we have layers. So King Kong's in the front layer. We're going to shift his layer behind the Godzilla layer so he can be behind Godzilla in the final picture. So that works pretty well. Now we're toggling King Kong to stretch him, make him bigger. Since his hand goes off the top, I'm going to stick him right there at the top of the frame. And I'm planning on editing him so he is kind of hidden behind the roof of the building there. Oh yeah, you can zoom in and out using that navigate function in the top right hand corner. of your window, or there's probably a key command for that too. I don't have a trackpad like you do, so it doesn't work for me. And now if you notice, we're magic wanding the background of King Kong. And every place where it's the same, it's working really well. You just select it, then you click clear in the edit menu. Now we're going to deselect and just go to the eraser tool because it works really well for this type of thing in Pixlr, except right near the edge of the screen, as you can see. So my project is not without its flaws. This is new for me as well. So we're clearing out around King Kong there. This is a little fast motion here, so we don't have to watch this all day. And I turned off King Kong, turned off Godzilla, so I could take out some of that. Now I made my brush super small so I can get between his fingers. And now we're doing that portion by his legs there. And now we're gonna do an awesome tool in Pixlr. It works really well. It's the clone tool, just like Photoshop. But it all works in one screen here. We're gonna select as the source some of his fur, and then paint. You click once to choose the source, then it switches over to the blue button that says paint, and suddenly you are painting with the image, with the right amount, with the right texture, and it looks really good. Also, once or twice I used the little hand tool right above the color picker to slide the page around, and there's a couple of ways to do that. So if you use the clone stamp at all in Photoshop, you know this tool already. And if you don't know the clone tool, it's because it was a little difficult. And this version of it works really nicely. So there's the hand tool. I'm sliding King Kong around, and he's looking good. I am going to leave well enough alone and turn Godzilla back on. If you notice, there's some dotted lines around Godzilla that I neglected to erase, and now we're going into fast motion again to get rid of those. Now I'm making a selection with the polygonal lasso, just like in Photoshop. I'm going right along the edge of the roof, and I am going to cut away that part of King Kong. So he has to stay there now. Again, edit, clear, and he's in a perfect position. He's exactly where I wanted him in my view. Now you can use any monsters you want. I also want you to add some text. Just like every image editing program, the text tool is indicated by the letter T. This text tool gives you a box to put your text in. Then it has font sizes and font styles to pick from. It has color wraparounds like our stroke tool in Photoshop. And that's what I wanted it to say. Monsters attack. Now I'm going for a brush tool because I want to make Godzilla spit some fire. And we're going to choose the color picker and get some oranges and yellows going here. And just so we're clear on what inspired me, we're making the opacity a little lower so it's see-through. I painted this once and you couldn't see King Kong anymore. So now we're seeing our flames, and there's our inspiration right there. The big guy himself spitting fire. Godzilla, king of the monsters. And now we're doing a secondary color. And if you like this kind of cartoony thing, you know, it's not realistic at all. It's just fun. So please have fun with this when you do it. Now I want to add, in every movie like this, there's always civilians or military involved in the action. So I'm copying some fighter jets. We're going to paste them into the current project, and here they are. And this is all a review, so just remember, we're going to distort and transform them so they're pointed in the right direction. And we're going to aim them. We're going to make them smaller. We're going to aim them down at Godzilla and King Kong. And there's just that empty spot in the background there where they'll fit so nicely in the sky. Once again, apply that transition. We're going to zoom way in so we can see this. I was using my mouse wheel, but again, there's a slider for it in the menu. Oh, and this is an important thing. That We just changed the tolerance on the selection tool because it copied too much and it cut away some of the plane. And now by lowering the tolerance almost by half, we have preserved the planes the way that they look. And now if you notice the photo had a copyright, we're going to erase that. That's just the regular eraser tool. And this photo also had an outline edge that I got rid of too. Now the jets need some jet spray coming out the back, the exhaust that makes these planes look like they're in motion and full of action. And there are some artifacts in here that I will take care of later and show you in a subsequent video. And lastly, you gotta save your work. So out in the file menu, there's a save button. If you save a PXD, that's the Pixlr file, but also save a JPEG and rename anything you save so it has your name on it and the title of the project, and share the JPEGs with me through Google Drive. I found the app pretty good to work with. It took me a few tries to get what I wanted done and make it something I feel like you can use. On this page, click the heart on your project and it will preserve it so you can find it there again. Lastly, as a reminder of the steps in the lesson, pause this and check it out. And lastly, have fun with what you do. Use some monsters that are interesting to you or that you find cool, and don't stress about it. Just try it out, see how it goes. Reach out with questions. I look forward to hearing from you and seeing your finished work. Thanks, everybody. Bye.